So in church, my grandma would have me just like go up and do speeches and stuff, just randomly on the spot. Hated it.
So public speaking, like performing, that wasn't like a natural thing that just came to you.
I had to work that because teaching is a performing arts too, and teachers are actors. Your lesson plan is your script.
What has been the most fulfilling thing about teaching?
Seeing students years later that you see in a grocery store or the BET experience, and they come up to you and be like, "Yo, Coach B, Mr. Rachal, yo, I remember you taught me da 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 da," and I'll be like, "Yo, what you doing here?" Same thing you doing here, doing life.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hitting Your Mark, a show where I get to talk to some creative friends of mine who I believe are definitely hitting their mark. And my next guest today, he is an artist, he is an actor, he's a teacher, he's also a deacon, a elder, an ordained minister. But above all of that, I get to call this dude my brother and my friend. My next guest is none other than the Reverend Dr. Brandon Rachal. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I don't have all those titles, everyone. So I just need people to know that stop. No, he's the main deacon over here, serving in church and ministry with his sister, Psalmist Asia. So yeah, good times.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for being here, Brandon. Really appreciate you, bro. I love to start out with kind of like how we met. That was what, like maybe 2018?
I thought you were about to say 20 years ago.
Hey, I'm not that old.
Ain't been that long.
I'm not that old, dog.
No. 2018?
Yeah, probably that. Like, was doing a Shakespeare play. You weren't in the play, but you were like kind of like a mentor, or like, that was the title of it?
Yep.
Do you remember that time for you? Was that a time where you were mostly acting, or were you mostly doing like mentor stuff like that?
I think I was a little bit of both.
Okay.
I would say. At that time, I was doing about to start a production of Native Son.
I remember that.
So with this particular organization you're talking about, it was more mentoring.
When was the transition that happened for you? Because I know that you started out with just performing, right? Like just being an actor. What was that transition like from becoming just an actor to becoming like a mentor, like a teacher to young folk?
I think that transition started, I want to say 2013.
Okay.
Right when I graduated college.
Nice.
I would say USC, fight on.
Love it.
Yeah. So it was around that time, I think one of my professors introduced me to the world of being a teaching artist. So, that's where you're able to use your skill sets to teach in educational or community settings and things like that. And it's a great way to secure employment for yourself. It's definitely a trade, and which I still do to this day. It's amazing. So I'm with different organizations and things like that. So around that time, and also because of a false arrest that happened to me. So this was like at the height of the Trayvon Martin situation.
Whoa, a false arrest happened to you?
Yeah.
You mind talking about that? They don't know about that.
Yeah. So the situation happened at that Burger King on Avalon and El Segundo at that time. And I was in production. Yes, I was in a production of, I was in rehearsals for Romeo and Juliet with Downtown Rep Theater. So I was happened to be coming home from that, and I was stopped, frisked. Mind you, I'm like 4 or 5 houses away from my granny's house.
Yeah.
Stopped, frisked by the police, et cetera, where you coming from, da. It wasn't rough or anything like that, but just still the profiling of it all was just super uncomfortable.
Right.
So they told my grandma, like, yo, he did something really bad. We can't tell you, et cetera. I'm just like, weird. So they just detained me for 3 days and 2 nights.
3 days and 2 nights, you were like in
Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. Yes.
Whoa. For what?
Nothing. Nothing. Come to find out. So it was profiling. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely profiling. So then again, that was when I realized, at that time, I was like, 23? Yeah, I was about 23, 2013. So yeah, at that time, I was just like, okay, I'm not in the mood to perform. I'm not in the mood to be auditioning, acting, all that other stuff. I just need time to process. So that's when I started looking at arts organizations that are advocates for using the arts as a tool of social change. Yeah, so I finished up the run of Romeo and Juliet, of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course, the director, the cast, they were like, whoa, what happened? We haven't seen you in a minute. So told them what happened. They was just like, man, I was totally jacked up and we feel for you and things like that. So I think starting off, being involved with the Unusual Suspects, that was my first organization I was involved with.
Oh, nice.
Start off as a mentor and then later as a teaching artist.
Come on now. I love that.
The work that they do with the youth, using their like personal life, using their situation to put into art form.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Come on now. I love that. You said you went to USC.
Yeah.
You studied theater there, or yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
What was your experience like going to USC?
It was, you know what, it was cool. But prior to that, my first semester was at Clark Atlanta University. So
okay, really?
I did. Yep.
Okay, Clark. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Atlanta was a vibe. Definitely. I wish I
Really?
would have stayed though, but because of some family stuff, I had to come on back
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, so you were doing you were studying theater at Clark too?
at Clark. Yeah.
Nice. How was the program there?
It was good.
Really?
It was good. I enjoyed it. You know, and just the scene itself.
Yeah.
You know, you right next to Morehouse and Spelman, and then Morris Brown down the street. So
Right,
it was
yeah.
just like that melting pot of just amazing
Yeah.
Black greatness.
Come on
You know,
now.
you could just feel the history there.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was a good experience. So from there, then went to El Camino
Okay.
for a year and some change, and then
Yeah.
transferred to SC.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was one of the most, I guess, impactful experiences that you had, like in college studying and stuff like at USC?
Really to be yourself, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think the best class I took was a solo performance class led by Eric Truls.
Nice.
Great, amazing solo performance artist. Really just about the art of the monologue a little bit. So when you look at artists like John Leguizamo, Anna Devere Smith, Eric Bogosian, you know, who's just an amazing like one man, one woman show type of situation. You can just be on stage for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just really telling and sharing your story
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like I was introduced to those artists through Eric Truls' class. So I think
Love
that was
it.
one of my best classes that I've taken. My second one would have to be an African American in theater class led by Professor Anita Deshelle Sparks, who I still keep in touch with to this day.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then another African American, I want to say art history class that I took there as well.
Dope. I love
It was
that.
good.
Yeah, I love
You got to
that.
stay connected to who you are. Because if not, you know, some of these colleges and programs will train you to become a version of how the industry sort of sees you. Whereas like, and you just kind of you'll lose yourself in a process if you don't know who you are.
Gotcha. I feel that. So you feel like they helped you kind of like ground yourself into who you are and the stories that you want to tell.
Yeah, yeah.
And to be true to you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, bro. Speaking of monologues, what was like the first monologue that you remember kind of like learning and to perform and like to perfect and stuff?
I think when I was at Elko, it was a Shakespeare piece.
Oh yeah.
It was from King Lear. I want to say Edmund's speech.
Okay.
The Thou Nature Art My Goddess speech. So I think I still have that kind of retained to this day.
I feel like everybody's like first monologue that they learn, it's still in there, like in the back of your head. Like I remember mine too. Mine was It's a Wonderful Life as George Bailey.
Classic.
And yeah, I remember performing that. I remember when I first did it, because I've only seen the movie. It's a play too, but only seen the movie. I remember I did it just like he did it in the movie.
Word.
And I did it in class. It just fell flat because it's just like I'm trying to imitate somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's theater too, so it has to be levels to it. Like she was the first person to taught me that you have to have some peaks and some valleys. But I was just saying it kind of just like how he was in the movie.
Bro,
so it fell flat. But I definitely learned to cultivate and perfect it into a dope into a dope monologue.
Yeah.
Do you remember one of your first auditions too? Was it a good one, or did you kind of crash and burn like a lot of people do on their first ones?
Okay, so I was going to an open call for The Lion King. No, The Color Purple.
Okay.
Over in what was that in North Hollywood?
Okay.
Yeah, crashed and burned.
Crashed and burned.
Yeah.
In what way?
Yeah.
In the music? Oh, for the music?
No,
or
I think I was just
was?
coasting along. I think both. I thought I was really, really prepared for the musical theater side of it.
Yeah.
And I was just I just think I'm an actor that moves well
Right.
and not like a heavy dancer per se.
Right.
Even though I took dance classes and I enjoyed it,
Mhm.
but I was just when I got to the space, I'm picking up on choreography was
Oh, that's a whole other thing. I give kudos to people that do it.
Yeah,
but it's just not
yeah.
me. I'm a straight actor. Just give me lines to say.
Exactly.
And give me blocking to move around.
yeah,
with.
keep it simple.
Yeah, and I could kill that.
Right. All of us ain't a triple threat in that capacity.
Right.
That's not our ministry sometimes.
Exactly. Come on now. But you talked about one of those first monologues that you did was King Lear. I mean, I know that you've done like a few Shakespeare plays. What is it that you love about Shakespeare, and what is it that kind of keeps you coming back to it?
You know what? I think the challenge of the language,
Yes,
it
sir.
really stretches you. It's a particular like athleticism to it
For sure.
that can like help you soar, because you start geeking out about it. You like look up what certain words mean, this, that, and the other, and you have to find your own translation to it.
Yeah.
So that once you know your own translation of the text or the scene or the monologue or the speech that you're doing, it's easier for the audience to pick it up and understand it.
Exactly.
So it's like it's important to do that text work for me first. And I'm just a nerd like that. So when I do classical text, I'm like finding out, okay, what does this word mean? How can I use it and color it and make it my own?
Come on now.
And then it's just freeing. It's fun to do.
For sure. Oh yeah, no, it definitely is freeing. And I definitely, I was talking to Juve about it too. Like, I feel like, you feel like you're speaking a different language. Like, I don't know, I barely know any Spanish, I barely know any French, and like that.
Right.
But when I'm doing Shakespeare, I feel like I'm fluent in like a whole different language,
You locked in. You
you locked into a whole nother thing.
Exactly.
Do you feel like doing Shakespeare kind of like helps you to do like contemporary work, or do you feel like they're kind of like, mutually exclusive?
I think it's exclusive. Yeah, I think you can go across the board with it.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's funny because with this one organization I work with, their motto is, if I could do Shakespeare, I can do anything.
Yeah, that's awful too.
That's their motto. Yeah, so it's like it's pretty much a boldness that you can have when you do the works. When you can approach it from your full self.
In that transition for you, coming from acting and then being a teaching artist like you are now, were there any limiting beliefs that came along with that? With you just being an actor to feeling like, oh, now I can teach other people to do it?
I think the training that I received as a teaching artist first helped to overcome any like limiting beliefs I might have had.
From USC?
From the first organization I was with, the Unusual Suspects.
Oh, okay.
So from there, I would say like I think for me, I just like a little bit of structure before I can break the rules. I know I couldn't just come into teaching cold. Like, oh yeah, I've done some, I got a degree from USC. Yeah, I can teach now. Da 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 da. It's like, no, that's not the case. Like teaching is an art form in and of itself too.
Yeah.
And I've come to find that some actors like cannot teach, at least holistically in a healthy manner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody put up a sign and be like, yeah, I'm an acting teacher, but it's like, what's really your experience? Do you really know how to hold brave and safe space in a classroom? So I find that some, not all, but some acting teachers have been real problematic in that, and they're not really caring for the instrument of the actor. So that's why, for me, once I've just gotten kind of the training that I've got from the organizations I've been with, I was able to just pick up and learn as I go, just healthy ways of teaching community and things like that. So it was a both and, And I kind of knew I always wanted to do it just as of course, a just in case type of thing. But I realized like two or more things can be true at the same time. I'm not trying to just lock myself in.
Exactly.
As an actor, you can't really be a one trick pony.
Right. Come on now. You got to have different
you do.
Different talents and stuff like that to bring to the table.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so you can survive.
You got to survive, right?
Pay your bills.
You got to make money.
Pay your bills. Yeah, you got to make money, man. Like, ain't nobody just be an actor no more.
Yeah.
No, you got to be multifaceted.
Come on, I love that. And that's actually a good segue to the film that we got to work together on, my film Adulting, where you were playing a friend of mine who, I came to consult in after I done got my girl pregnant. And then now I'm talking to you about, how we might be splitting up. And, we kind of were arguing over the fact that, my character was an artist. He was trying to pursue his thing. But now he's got this kid coming, but he doesn't want to go get a job. He don't want to do that because like he feels like, plan A, I'm still doing my thing.
Right.
But your character said something very significant in that he's like, don't feel like having a job makes you not be able to pursue your passions. Do you feel like that same way in real life? I think you kind of alluded to that earlier a little bit, but like while you're pursuing your passions, you also do got to have a job too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that job is still creatively adjacent. Yeah. That's even better.
Come on,
because you got to grow in some form of fashion,
because
there's levels to this stuff. So, don't feel just like limited to one thing, like it's going to always be there. Yeah. That's what I tell students all the time. It's just like, explore different avenues, explore different ways of success and things like, because success for you may look different from success for me.
Right, exactly.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, no, for sure.
it's like everybody's definition of that is different.
It's very
So
different.
you gotta like diversify yourself.
Come on now. I love that.
Artists, yeah.
So now as a teaching artist, where are you specifically with that? Like you're working with a company or a school specifically?
Yeah, organizations,
Okay.
definitely. I just wrapped up a residency with the Young Shakespeareans
Nice.
on their production of Macbeth.
Okay.
Most superstitious play ever.
Yeah.
And the things that went awry, it did.
It
but
did?
the students, they got through it. We just saying the name out loud, just casually.
Hey,
We didn't think nothing was gonna happen of it,
I'm
but
not-
yeah,
I don't believe in all that stuff,
One of the witches had a nosebleed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and actually one of my co-teachers, he had a nosebleed. She had a nosebleed.
Okay.
Later,
Right,
our sound went out for 10 minutes on their final closing. So yeah, it was just it was magical.
How long have you been a teaching artist? For years now, right? Like
about 10, 11 years now.
oh, you're a veteran.
Yeah.
You're a veteran. What has been the most fulfilling thing about teaching?
Seeing students years later that you see in a grocery store or the BET experience, and they come up to you and be like, "Yo, Coach B, Mr. Rachal, yo, I remember you taught me da 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 da," and I'll be like, "Yo, what you doing here?" Same thing you doing here, doing life. But no, seeing my students also just like thriving as creative leaders themselves. Yeah. So they're still pursuing the arts in some form or fashion. It might not just be actors per se, but they've gone on to do communications, or they're in social work, or they're in education or something like that. So I think that's fulfilling to me.
I love it. So Coach B, that's what they call you, Coach B?
Yeah.
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
What is when you come into a class like on the first day, what is kind of like the main thing that you always kind of like want to instill in kids throughout the year?
A spirit of ensemble.
Love that.
That it's this idea of Ubuntu,
Mm-hmm.
African term that is an I am because we are.
Yeah.
The whole, there is no I in team or this, that, and the other, so that this is an ensemble first and foremost. And so there is no stars, I would say. I mean, yes, we are all stars. I definitely want to just like hype up that super ego in them.
Right, yeah.
But also know that, we're all a team at the end of the day.
I love that.
We all have to work together to tell a story. So
yes, sir.
Yeah. So the ensemble spirit is really important. Also, to add to that, I would say agreements as well. Making sure that we adhere by just class agreements, kind of like our own contract, to say, okay, what are some things that is going to help you grow in this class? What skills do you want to get out of this class, and how can you support each other in this brave space?
Yeah.
So that everyone can step up to the plate as their full selves.
Right.
I
love that, bro. Earlier you said something like you thrive well in structure. So do you feel like schooling, you going to college and you going to like formal training and stuff, do you think that's what like really helped you and like shaped your craft and your career?
Yes. I think knowing that first has helped me, because now I can break the rules and bend them a little bit.
Yeah.
Because once you know the formula, once you know the structure, it's like now you can add your own flavor to it.
Got you.
Yeah. Of something, whether that's acting, whether that's teaching, whether that's, and it just helps you be your full authentic self to the table, because teaching is a performing arts too.
It is.
Teaching is an art form, and teachers are actors at the end of the day. So think about
said teachers are actors?
Teachers are actors. Yeah.
Like all teachers?
Yeah. Your lesson plan is your script.
That's good right there, bro.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I love that.
So yeah, some days you got to improv.
You be improving?
Some days you got to. Yeah, some days I do wing it. I think that's the beauty of being a teaching artist, I'll be in transit and I'll have an agenda up, I'll do it on my phone, because I now know the foundation of how to do it, So once you have like a set agenda, it's like you can just throw in activities and exercises, and eventually the class will run itself. Once you're confident, I think too, it's just being the confidence of being an educator and being a teaching artist. I think that's like, it's a good strength to have.
Yeah, I love that. Did you always have that confidence and stuff like as a performer, or do you think that was something that you kind of learned over time?
No, I learned that over time.
Really?
Yeah. So in church, my grandma would have me just like go up and do speeches and stuff, just randomly on the spot. Hated it.
Oh, not just like Easter and like
sometimes. But I grew into that a little bit.
Ah.
Someone like correct me on the word or something, like I would break down. I'll just be like, gosh, I think because I was like a little bit of a perfectionist when I was little.
Okay.
So I was just like, why do you have me up here talking? I don't want to speak in front of these people. I really don't.
So public speaking, like performing, that wasn't like a natural thing that just came to you. Really?
I had to work that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then how did that transition happen? I mean, you said grandma or auntie or
Yeah, my
grandma, she was making you do that.
Yeah.
When did it come to a point of like, okay, now I want to do this?
I think over time, I think when I got into my mid-teens, probably like 15, 16,
Okay.
when I started, that was during high school.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be more in the plays and stuff like that.
Really?
So I think at first I wanted to be like a broadcast journalist.
Okay. I can see that.
TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely can
But
see
it
that.
involved a lot of writing, and I was like, I'm not writing is not my ministry like that. So I'm like, I want to be more in front of the camera, doing the news or whatever, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So when I took my first journalism class in college, I was like, what's this? I got to write a paper?
Wasn't feeling that, huh?
I wasn't. So yeah, no, I had to grow out of, I definitely grew out of that over time though. And overcame that fear, just like, being in front of people and all that other jazz. So it definitely trained me. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. I love that. And I feel like, your same stories, I think a lot of people's stories, like it all starts in church, bro. Like doing the speeches or doing the church skits, the Christmas plays.
Yeah,
like
the shenanigans we see in church.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Folks acting stupid.
Right. That's when we start imitating them,
exactly.
and we just do it, and that's acting, and that's what we learned it.
It's an art. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
You talked about writing, like you were saying that you didn't want to be into writing, but I mean, I've had a conversation with you, and you do enjoy writing now, though, right? Or you still don't?
I do enjoy writing now than I did back then.
Right.
And when I say writing, I mean the medium of journaling and
okay.
creative writing.
Got you.
Not script writing or playwriting.
So you're not into that?
Not as much.
Okay.
I don't like it.
You like journaling and?
I think because it's therapeutic.
Okay.
So I'm more of like the poetry,
yeah,
all that other stuff. And I've been doing that since my teens.
Yeah. What's your inspiration with that? Or do you kind of just like draw from your own?
I think it was just a way to heal, just due to some personal calamities that was going on in my household at that time. So I just needed a particular outlet to like express. And I think that goes back to why I fell into the arts as a form of like social justice and healing and stuff like that. This is definitely a catharsis. That's what the arts serve to me. So I think those are the writing techniques that I enjoy.
I love that, bro.
Screen and script writing, it gets too mathematical. It gets too mathematical, scientific too technical, at times. Yeah. So that's that.
So now as a teaching artist and as someone who also enjoys writing, what is something that you're still looking forward to doing next?
Teaching at the college level.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Being a professor.
Really? That's what you're looking for?
Yep.
Okay. Professor Brandon.
Yeah.
All right.
Asia and I was talking earlier, we need them benefits.
You need them benefits, huh?
Benefits, 401k. Yeah. You already know. See?
Okay. So you wanted to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
What would be like a dream, like kind of like college career? You didn't really have one.
USC.
Oh, go back to your roots, huh?
Yeah, because they right up the street.
Easy commute.
Easy commute. Either USC or if I were to move to Atlanta, it'll probably be like Clark Atlanta or Morehouse.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Love that, bro. Love that, bro. Dang. Well, thank you so much, Brandon, for being here, man, on this show.
Anytime.
I would love to wrap this up with, talking about, just the big dream for you. I know, right, you're a teaching artist and you're an actor and doing all these great things as an elder and deacon and all that. But for you at the end of the day, what for you at the end, you didn't like that? But for you at the end of the day, bro, on a serious note, what does Brandon Rachal hitting his mark look like?
Man, inspiring the next generation of creative leaders, artists, young people, teens, et cetera, and knowing that their voice matters. And that's what the arts have done for me.
Come on now.
So that's what hitting my mark is. Yeah.
You say you're not an elder and a deacon, but like you do it in the
I learned from the best.
You did that
in white, traveling the world, the nations.
Come on now, I'm learning from you, Dan. I'm learning from you. Before we go, tell the people how they can connect with you and support what you got going on, bro.
You can follow me at Brandon Rachal, Brandon RACHAL _ on Instagram. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Don't ask for my ex. Don't ask for all the other social medias. Don't ask for my Facebook. I mean, you can find me on Facebook, but I'm barely on there. But yeah, just Instagram.
Just IG. Yeah, just IG. Follow his instructions. All right. I'll be sure to link it in the description so people connect with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Brandon, for being here, bro. I really appreciate
Anytime,
it.
man.
And I'll catch you at the next one.